Hi guys. So on September the 1st, Ted Cruz introduced a bill to Congress that basically said it is the sense of Congress that Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps meets the criteria for designation as a foreign terrorist organization as set forth in section 219 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. It is the sense of that the Secretary of State should designate Iran's Revolutionary Guard Corps as a foreign terrorist organization under subsection 219. Now, later on, after that was introduced in October, Donald Trump had the opportunity of pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal and designating the IRGC as a terrorist organization. He stopped short of designating them as a terrorist organization and instead levied sanctions on them and pushed the decision on the Iran nuclear deal down the line, which we kind of at now, basically, or about a week or two ago, is when the US pulled out of the Iran nuclear deal. So when I read reports of the US House banning Trump from declaring war on Iran without congressional approval, it doesn't mean much to me. It's a symbolic gesture at most, or at best, because the president can still send the military into a conflict. Maybe they won't call it a war. Instead, they will say it's in the national security interest of the United States. Such actions can be taken by the president in the event, that the United States is under attack or is in a situation where an attack is imminent. The PowerPoint presentation from Benjamin Netanyahu about Iran's lying regarding their nuclear program, the possible designation of the IRGC as a terrorist organization, and the withdrawing from the Iran nuclear deal is all part of the narrative to go and attack Iran. So the theory behind it would be Iran has developed nuclear capabilities, and obviously the report I brought out just about 2 or 3 days ago with the reports of Iran having a secret ICBM program, that's all leading to a possible declaration from Donald Trump, if he does decide to attack Iran, being that the United States is in a situation where an attack is imminent. Thereby, it will allow him to bypass Congress in terms of congressional approval and go ahead and launch that war. It's important to take note of that because Benjamin Netanyahu has a similar thing in regards to Israel. So recently they passed a law where Benjamin Netanyahu doesn't need congressional approval to launch an attack. As you've seen, he's taken advantage of that with Syria, but the real target, in my opinion, is Iran. So he's lined himself up nicely to be able to launch a war on Iran without congressional approval. Donald Trump, kind of similar. So even though Congress have, put this symbolic ban, they put this symbolic ban on Trump, stopping him from declaring war, that doesn't mean he can't send out the military. As the President of the United States, under the Constitution, he has the authority to protect the United States. And that could come in the form of protecting the United States from an attack that could be imminent. Whether the attack is imminent or not is besides the point. If you use that excuse, then you can bypass Congress. So a lot to watch there. And then this was interesting as well. The Syrian army, or Assad, has basically taken back control of a lot of Syria. The war's been going on since 2011. The Syrian army recently sent out some leaflets to the militants in southern Syria ahead of a potential offensive in the area, just letting them know that they should lay down their arms or they, will end up like the other militants, dead, basically. So it strikes me as unusual that the militants are basically like ISIS and stuff like that, but then you've got the US warning Syria not to launch that attack, otherwise there'll be firm action taken against them. So who is the United States really backing here? The claims of going into the Middle East to fight ISIS doesn't appear to hold up to scrutiny when you're looking at the defense of ISIS by the United States in regards to Syria. So there's a lot to watch and there's a lot to understand. I'm still building my understanding around this whole thing. I have a lot of knowledge in terms of the Middle East, which I've gained over the last couple of months, but there is still more to learn. So I'll update you guys as I go. But for now, it's just important to know that even though Congress has passed a law regarding a war on Iran, that can be overridden or bypassed using specific language. And also, we have to watch who really is backing ISIS and who's the real aggressors here. You guys have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and God bless.